I have here Eric Hansen, a professor of cinematic arts at the University of Southern California. He is also the CEO of Blue Planet VR and has mastered the art of capturing the essence of nature's wonders. Through his work in volumetric video, photogrammetry, photography, and more, Eric has traveled the world capturing breathtaking locations few get to see, let alone experience. Today, Eric would like to take us all through a masterclass on real world immersive experiences and show how we can travel to some of the most interesting locations on the planet without having to leave our living room. Here to inspire and enlighten is Eric Hansen.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Great to be here. I must say, I think probably running this presentation for you all today is great training for doing social work in the metaverse. A little bit involved, but in any case, let me go ahead and present screen here, and let's see if this is going to happen. One second. Let's see. And I think we are good. Let me know, Scott, if we're not. Let me switch this. Okay, I believe we're probably okay. Let me know, Scott, if we're not. And I'll proceed. So anyway, I'm here today to talk about what I call the power of reality within the virtual. And I think my outlook on the metaverse may be a little different from what say Mark Zuckerberg's might be. My belief is that we should start with the real world and then enter that of the fictional. Part of that reason is because of what I think the power of capturing the real world has been for me, my investigations into this. And so I'm just going to show you a few slides here of what I refer to. In my entire life, I've been a pretty active outdoor adventurer and photographer, capturing all kinds of areas throughout the world. A lot of climbing activities and hiking, backpacking. I was even a hang glider pilot for many years and so forth, and was just always led this kind of rich outdoor life. But at the same time, I had a big digital life as well, and that was working in visual effects and feature film here in Los Angeles. Worked on a number of films for probably 20 plus years. Originally started out as an architect, but decided to bring rendering skills into feature film on digital cityscape. So these are some films, Fifth Element and Day After Tomorrow, that was able to construct a lot of digital cityscape work back in the day. Also spent time at Walt Disney doing visual development of different environments for that type of fiction as well. But one turning point for me was working on the film Castaway with Sony ImageWorks, and this was where we really recreated a natural environment very successfully. So kind of moving away from the urban. Most people don't think of Castaway as a large effects film, but in fact, you can see the what really we were doing here. So actually, we did shoot in Fiji, but this is just up the road right outside of Los Angeles. So what I began to do is get very impassioned about trying to combine those two worlds that I lived in, the outdoors and computer graphics, and began to try to develop techniques that I could take scans of the real world or captures, whether it was raster or terrain data, or in this case today, photogrammetry. But I began with a business partner, Greg Downing, to develop techniques on gigapixel imaging. And this is using robotics and long lenses to capture the world in just a hyper acuity, an acuity that's finer than the human eye can resolve. And this was an early image quite some time ago that we were the first ones to put a gigapixel image online, and you could drill down into it. And it was a huge viral event back in the day. And this got me very enthused to think about how we could take technology and see new things in the real world. This is a recent gigapixel capture that we've done of El Capitan in Yosemite. And I think for sake of time, I'll proceed. Well, actually, let me see if I can hop over to that very quickly. And this is now a gigapixel image of the wall. And as I go in, a gigapixel resolution, we can see two sets of climbers that we worked with to do this. We shot them about every 30 seconds or so, or a few minutes, moving up the route, and did a major composite of all this. But in any case, we can go into a fairly large degree of resolution and do this over the entire wall. So this was one exciting thing that, let me get back to my Prezzo here, that we were excited about early on. So Greg and I started a company called X-Ray Studio, and we had a keen interest in cultural heritage as well. And we began to get involved with scanning technology at that time. We also got involved with immersive media at that time with Full Dome, and got very excited about capturing things in full 360. And began to work with some influential artists like Bjork on a lot of her VR work. This is the kind of the early days of VR doing 360 film. And then with Ai Weiwei and a Navajo artist, Bert Benali, on a land art project that they collaborated on, and we created a full dome film on. So, but really what captivated us ultimately was the kind of the advance of photogrammetry, of using simple cameras to do the same thing that this expensive laser scanner in the lower right corner does. As a matter of fact, this was a job that Autodesk had us do photogrammetry, kind of compare photogrammetry against laser scanning, and find the virtues or the limitations of each. We got very excited about this. We developed a camera rig with Canon and a company called SpaceCam to do gigapixel capture from the air in service of photogrammetry, and ended up shooting a small scale version of this in the Himalaya around Mount Everest, working with David Brashear, as a well-known climber. And that became the basis of the data that was used for the more recent film of Everest. So everything you see here is a digital construction. This is just a very quick kind of synopsis of the techniques that we use, going from very large scale to very fine scale. And we even developed a gigapixel macro device called the Giga Macro down below. And I'm not going to go into detail on all this, but this is basically just part of our approach, was how can we scale our capture. But the big turning point was this, and this was the advent of taking photogrammetric data into real-time engine with the advent of the Vive headset. And this was really, this was an Egyptian tomb that Greg had captured in Egypt working with Nat Geo. And it's a very small space, and we put that, tooled that up in Unity in the day. This is about 7 years ago, I think. And it was just a watershed moment. When I put the headset on, I just had was really chills down my spine, and was just stunned by the immense amount of immersive qualities that it had. So just shifting your weight on your 2 feet, you would feel this tremendous amount of presence. And that's related to this aspect of being 6 degrees of freedom, as opposed to 3 degrees of freedom in VR, which is more common with filmmaking, where you really you get a 360-degree surround, but you don't really get a sense of parallax perception. And that's what 6 degree offers, and it turns out it's one of the great factors of highly immersive experiences. So then we got very busy capturing just a broad range of locations that we enjoy. This is some Native American rock art north of Bishop, California. And then as began to capture these and place these in the headset, I got very excited to share these with the public. So this was the birth of a project called Blue Planet VR, which is now a commercial title on the Oculus Quest ecosystem in the store. And this is a combination, or a collection, I should say, of close to 50 different captures that we've made all throughout the world in the intervening, I'd say, last 5 years or so. And I just find this tremendously stimulating to work in the real world, and begin with that for where we will end up going in the metaverse. Here's an example of another Native American project I'm working on currently with a group called the Onward Project. And this is a collaboration with the Navajo Nation, where we're capturing these ancient ruins. And you can see here the fidelity of what photogrammetry offers today. There's been some tremendous advances in the algorithms. And so here to the right, you can see the mesh that's optimized and created for real time. And then on the left is the final result. And to be able to experience this and walk about this site and learn about this is a tremendously persuasive experience. Here's an image that feels photographic, but in fact is straight out of the headset and of the model. So the degree of fidelity that we can achieve today from this conjunction of so much great technology, whether it's UAVs or GPU or new algorithms, is just unbelievable. This will get incredibly rich in the years to come with AI, as we all know, and I'll end on that. But these are other images of the modeling that we've captured. This is Carlsbad Cavern. And here we have some cultural heritage. This is an Indonesian, a well-known Buddhist temple, Borobudur, in Indonesia. And this is another project that is continuing with a group called the Dunhuang Foundation, which is kind of tech related, but really is there to help preserve and kind of expose people to the Megao Caves, which is a tremendous cultural heritage site in the Gobi Desert in China. And these are 1,000-year-old caverns. Each doorway reveals one of these rooms that is a Buddhist artwork and kind of a reliquary of Buddhism. So here we can see the final result of this, and we've done two major trips to the Megao Caves and captured these, and we have a tremendous presentation on this that's put together. It's not made public yet, but we're approaching that time when we will share this with the public. Lastly, I think the advent of AI today is going to change things tremendously. One thing about photogrammetry is it does not capture lighting interaction, such as specularity or any kind of optical effects. Many of you may know of this. This is neural radiance fields, which is just now developing. There's a very early application called Lumo, which is just beginning to create creative or be a creative tool for this. And I foresee that this at some point will definitely contribute, if not, potentially replace what we're doing in photogrammetry. But tremendous amount of advances ahead with all this. And let me go to, and so to close, one thing, if you are interested in this type of work, I offered a class through Autodesk University about 2 years ago. And this is all you have to do is search for Autodesk University and my last name, Hanson, Hanson, and you can find this page. And these are just a few slides out of that presentation. And you can learn a little bit about the techniques that we cover, kind of the applications and the shooting techniques, and that may assist you. But again, tremendous. This technology moves at a rapid clip. Even using your cell phone today with a application like Polycam can deliver some reasonable results. But I just find this, in closing, terribly exciting to kind of again begin our metaverse exploration in the real world, and then ultimately into the fictional. So I think that's good for me, and I think I'm coming right up on the end of my time.